welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Betches.
Good one. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Maria.
That's Erica. I actually like that one.
I'm gonna sound like a cow if I do.
She's already
Maria.
She's already got the This is a book podcast. We swear. We spoil and we talk about sex, but this week we're not doing a specific book. We're doing
Nope.
What is it?
A topic.
Topics? A topic of your
discussion topic.
Yes.
I don't know how to make it witty, but it's just a chat.
A chat.
A B&B chat.
I like it. We're talking about fandoms. We're talking about author. Yes,
Okay.
author fandoms.
Did you want to do instant DNF first?
No. Let's do fandoms. First and foremost, let's talk about what this podcast actually is, and picture yourself in the room with us right now. Picture you
didn't
in
add
this
it
room.
to this to the gimmick that you're
Yeah,
saying.
you didn't add it.
Well, I need time to think about
We
it.
also suck.
Yeah.
That's added to the sex spoilers, and we also suck.
Okay.
Sex, swearing, spoilers, and we suck. But you're in the room with us.
Okay.
We're hanging out. We're three
here.
friends.
I'm here.
I'm setting the scene. You're on the couch with us. We have a bowl of popcorn. We should get popcorn next time.
Okay.
We're talking.
Chewing on these mics is the perfect idea.
For sure.
Demands, yeah.
In the visualization, we're all just chit-chatting. Maybe we have a beer. I don't know. A wine.
Wine is what I would
A
like.
glass of wine.
Sure.
And we're just hanging out. It's a Saturday night. We got nothing to do.
Sunday, but that's
it's a
fine.
Sunday. This is
Let her have us.
the
Her
scene.
vision.
Painting the scene. You're in the room with us. You are in this room with us. We are just chit-chatting.
But we never hear you. So you
We
can
don't
scream into the
hear you.
ether and we'll never hear you.
Okay. And what
And
where are you
that's
going
Like
with
that
that?
comment on the Betty
what
Boop
this-
thing.
But
Yeah.
that's what...
I was screaming at
Someone
myself.
commented on YouTube, said the way I'm screaming at my phone, Betty Boop.
Dude, I wish they were here for that
And
one.
then they were like, is there a gas leak in that
That
basement?
made me laugh so fucking hard. Somebody commented on our YouTube, is there a gas leak in that basement? And I cackled.
Honestly,
we're so fucking
because we
stupid.
couldn't get
I was
one.
like,
I
honestly?
wasn't gonna. I was like, I think I know who you're talking about, but I just don't even want to say the name right now. I don't remember. It's a lot.
It's funny because maybe there is. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while.
So
Don't scare yourself like that.
we're just chilling. We're chatting. We're booping. We're bopping.
Bibbidi
Booping
boppidi
and
booping.
scopping. And we're gonna talk about fandoms. And to me, there's a couple of fandoms that come to mind that are like, and we don't have to talk about all of them. Sanderson,
Brian
Yeah.
Sanderson.
J.K. Rowling, which we don't like to talk about.
We'll skip that one.
I didn't say we were gonna talk about all these.
Okay.
Sarah J. Maas,
Yeah.
Mhm.
The biggest. Colleen
JLA.
Hoover.
Colleen Hoover,
Jennifer Armentrout.
Jennifer Armentrout. Any other ones?
Nora Roberts. The moms.
Yeah, Nora Roberts.
Mhm.
The
Oh, Stephen King.
Stephen
Obviously
King.
Stephen King.
There's actually quite a bit now that I'm thinking about it. There's more. We're missing them. Honestly, Neil Gaiman probably has.
Neil Gaiman has. But I was thinking more like the author fandoms that we see on
like on
Bookstagram the
Bookstagram?
most.
Okay.
Which is the Colleen Hoovers, the Sarah J. Maas's,
Yeah.
the JLA.
The problem is so
Megan
often,
Quinn, I feel like, has a big following behind her right now.
I find that there's so often people are so close to the works and the authors that they can't accept that there are problems within the work sometimes.
Yes.
Or like to face criticisms towards the works. Like you can like something and still be critical of it.
Of course.
And that's kind of like what we do a lot of the time is like we don't criticize like crazily, but like we do
We're not-
talk about things in a critical way.
No, we don't.
We just say what we like.
We say
and
what we
don't
like and we don't like.
You don't think that's critical?
So
we
define
don't offer-
critical.
yeah.
Are we defining critical in the way of we're looking at it as a piece of work and analyzing that, or are we critical in what our own opinions are of what we like and what we dislike? Because that's two different things. I would think. Am I wrong on that?
No, I agree.
I mean,
agree.
it depends how you want to. It depends how you want to define it.
Depends on how you slice the pie.
The way I slice my pie is my criticisms relate to me and just me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I cannot speak for the world.
You're not saying
Yeah.
like this book is bad because like we shouldn't do the like we.
I can't speak for everyone.
Exactly. I agree,
I
I
will
agree.
never be able to speak the representation of everybody out
Yep,
there.
yep.
I can speak for I speak as a Latina, but I can't speak for all Latinas.
Exactly.
I can speak. I'm a woman, but I can't speak for all women. So
See,
like
I
you
wish-
can't.
I wish
you
that's
can't
how
put
it
that
was for everybody.
everywhere.
I wish everybody was like cool with just having their own opinion and that being fine. what I want to talk about
we're
the
allowed
most,
to disagree on our opinions, but
for sure.
There's a line that gets crossed often in this online space,
especially in the fandoms.
Yeah.
Which, like, the one I want to talk about the most is the Sarah J. Maas fandom, because it's the one that I don't understand the most. Like,
it's so pick me.
Oh, the other one.
So pick me.
You know what? It's an interesting time in history. Like, we're witnessing like this little circle, because before Sarah J. Maas, it was the woman who did Mortal Instruments. Like, who was?
She's still out there. Sandra Claire is still a big fandom.
Does she still have it?
She's still releasing books.
But when I
that world,
Sandra Claire, I'm thinking like Tumblr, MySpace, you know, like that world. And now
she's transcended. Yes. She's kept it going.
Yeah. Okay, so now
her train is still on the track.
That's so
she's
interesting.
Still pumping.
So to me,
I think it was like what, Clockwork Princess or whatever it is. It's in the same Shadowhunters world, whatever it is. But it's like a prequel kind of thing. I don't know.
Sarah J. Maas, like, it's equivalent to that, where now we're in the world of this like fairy world that she created, and I feel like we're not stepping outside of it. It's like everything is just based
everything is compared to it.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's so annoying. Don't knock that table over, Erica.
Pull this part down to you. Because what you're doing is you keep making it up that way, but you want
I gotta move it all the time.
Too much.
I move my mic too much.
Chris and I are like,
I know. I moved this mic 40 times an episode.
I think it's like a tick for you. It's just
I don't know.
ADD.
The Sarah J. Maas. This is the problem. Is everything gets compared to ACOTAR.
Every fantasy
everything.
Now. Yeah.
Everything.
Why?
And now it's the From Blood and Ash is now like that secondary one that's like a deeper cut into like ACOTAR is like almost it's so big now that it's almost like facing towards like the non-book people.
Yeah.
Now non-book people are reading ACOTAR. So but like the From Blood and Ash is like, okay, you're in book land now, right? And From Blood and Ash to me just went completely off the fucking rails.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Jennifer Armentrout, you know that she can't fucking end a series. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, if you read her other series, you know that she can't fucking end a series. So God bless if you're on that.
I got rid
From
of
Blood
my
and Ash train
Blood and Ash
because
series.
that shit was going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I just feel like the Instagram world, the
TikTok
social
too.
media,
TikTok mostly.
TikTok and Instagram, like the social media that's super prevalent now, has made it 10 times more aggressive than I remember it being when we were kids. Like, I know there was fandoms when we were kids,
but everyone was part of their fandom and they just lived in their fandom.
No,
yeah,
the fandom was like you
now.
bought a folder of it for your like LA.
Although I remember the days of the Twilight versus Harry Potter because they were coming out at the same time.
That was dope.
And everyone was like,
you were either
Harry
Twilight or
better. I was like, no, Twilight's better. And we're all
but
like,
again, you bought a notebook. Literally whatever folder you had or notebook or pin or you know what I mean? Like that's how you showed your allegiance.
Remember
now,
Lisa Frank days?
Lisa Frank was fucking dope.
That was a
I wish that like I really love the insurgence of 90s fashion and 90s culture because I want to be back in the 90s. I would love to live in a day where I'm wearing butterfly clips again.
I mean, you could do that.
You do it now.
No, they're not the same. They're not the same quality. They're not the same fucking thing.
I'm jealous of the kids that are growing up right now with that 90s fashion because I'm like, you don't get it.
Some of those, you know what I don't understand? Some of those designs from the 90s, why can't somebody just remake them now? People would buy them.
They are.
They're not. They're shitty. They're not the same fucking designs. They're like not. They're not.
I'm seeing a lot of the same things.
They're similar.
I'm seeing Juicy come back on track pants bottoms.
They're similar. Like I'm talking about like the designs of like I saw somebody post like a vintage stroller and it was like
I love it.
Do you remember like it was like almost I don't know, it was like blues and pinks and purples and it was just like
it was that swish you always got on the
like whatever. They don't do that anymore.
No, that one
they don't do these like weird patterns that they did in the 90s anymore. And I'm like, just make them again. People would buy them.
More colorful in the 90s.
Everything was so like
but
those cool color blocks.
I do think the biggest
make them again. People will buy them.
No, I think the biggest difference too though is just the social media aspect. Like you want to go back to the 90s because things were a little bit simpler in your mind because you didn't have all of the stress of social media.
Yeah. That's not aesthetic.
Which is like that's what I was trying to.
It is though.
But that's what I'm trying to say about the fandoms and how different they are is because you have immediate access to all of it now, and it's slammed down your throat even if you're not in the fandom. I see SJM stuff on my feed all the time, and I don't care about any of it.
Having access to authors is the
Oh, yeah,
worst
that's
thing
big.
that has ever happened
That's a good point.
to actually, honestly, having access to
Celebrities?
anybody that is
Yeah.
not a normal fucking person is horrifying now.
Wait, does she reply to shit? Or any of them reply?
No.
I think she
Authors?
does.
There
Sarah
are,
doesn't.
but yes, because some author, this is the problem now that some authors are coming into readers' spaces.
Yeah.
The internet's an open fucking forum. I don't know where people got that idea that like there's certain spaces on the internet for people or not for people.
Yeah.
With that being said, as an author, you're a brand. So whenever you do enter into those fictional fucking spaces,
Yeah.
you are acting as a brand.
Right.
So if you are acting out of line or you're being like fucking stupid or you're saying something stupid, that is your brand that you're impacting,
Sure.
right? But I don't think there's any space on the internet for anybody. Like this is like a weird
It started,
online
it started
take.
out. I'm just thinking to the start of social media and how when Instagram first got big and
Yeah.
the celebrities were on it, the use of paparazzi wasn't as intense anymore because
'Cause now you have access to
now
behind the
these celebrities just did a story and said, "Look, I'm doing this today."
Yep.
And that was so revolutionary at the time because we never had that.
Because all we had was people taking pictures of Paris Hilton
from far away.
far
You
away,
never knew her
leaving a
inner
club
life,
or
but
whatever.
now,
Access into
so
their
then it
life.
morphed
Yep.
from we had a sort of authentic look into, even if it was
No more
curated.
curiosity. Yeah.
Now it's turned into, okay, well now my personal life is a brand,
Yeah.
so I have to show off in a certain aesthetic. I think the same thing has gone on with the fandoms.
Yeah.
It went
Yeah.
from what was fun that we all just got up at midnight
We
to go
ruin
to
everything. Everything
we
gets
ruined
ruined.
everything.
But there's always been fandoms. But I
Yeah.
agree. I think this
The
version of
fandoms,
it is
but
scary.
you know what the fandoms were? Comic Cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where those
That's true.
fandoms lived. They didn't
Tumblr.
the Tumblr. They lived in these like niche places that like you would only go
really
if
have
you
to
were
seek
really
out,
actually
yeah.
a fucking fan.
So as an author, as somebody who's like written books, does the idea of like a fandom scare the shit out of you, or does it like pump you up and like it's something that you would
I think
want?
it's cool. I think you know what and I think we talk about this a lot off camera. Is like it's cool to have fans, and it's great that you're providing a service to people who enjoy what you're producing.
Yeah.
But there's something so terrifying, and I think that it is so intangible to talk about when you get like when you step out of line and people get angry at you.
Yeah.
And you don't mean it, and you're a good person, and you like do all the right things, and like maybe you say something off color or whatever the fuck you do, and you just get like fucking crucified online for it. You lose your job, you lose your like
It's
like
scary.
and you could say one little thing that like isn't necessarily wrong, and like I know people will say like, oh, well, the online doesn't fucking matter, and it's like, well, it does when people lose their jobs over it, and
yes.
like
it matters big time.
it does matter because the
there's a-
internet's
there's
forever.
there's a
so-
spectrum.
Yeah.
There's a spectrum that we're talking about here. There's
Yep.
those who truly do something wrong and are need to be held accountable.
Yes.
I get that 100%. And then there are those who are just living their daily lives and didn't think that one thing they posted would go to the masses and
Right.
become viral.
Or
and then it
10
gets to that
years
point.
later, it comes back to bite
That
them.
too.
And it was a social norm back then, and it's not anymore.
which it
Like,
should have never been understood.
yeah.
But
but times are
everyone
different.
evolves.
Like Cassandra
Cassandra Clare? Yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
of her
Cassandra.
shit. Like people are getting mad about her shit now too.
why? Since when?
Because of the incest shit.
Ah,
Oh my god.
that's so old.
And it's
But that's what
wasn't
I'm
ever
saying.
even
Like
a
it's
thing.
like, but that was never okay. But
Yeah, but they weren't even brother and sister.
Yeah, but it
the
still uses a
illusion
plot
of
device.
it.
We were mad at the time when we read it. I was mad still.
don't know. I think people read that
or
wrong.
like Twilight, right? Like Twilight is a problem.
See,
It
why do
has
we need
problematic
to
content.
Well, it's a problem because of what Stephanie did with the money that she got from it.
Yeah.
And how she spoke about indigenous people and
Oh, yeah,
how
that's
she
fucked.
that
Yeah.
she fucked up there.
But then the flip side of that, and I don't mean to get deep into this, but like that tribe came out and said that the only reason that they are okay today is because of Twilight and because of the
wild.
revenue that they got from the fandom. From
I haven't seen that, but okay.
from the whatever.
I got you.
But it's just interesting, like, the bigger you get, and I've said this before, like, the bigger you get, the bigger your fandom gets, the more, like, kind of scary. It gets.
It's terrifying because
I've been terrified since day one, and I've said it since day one.
Yeah, but I'm
so
thinking,
all
like,
of you who are already here, stay here. That's fine. No one else come. It's fine. It's a
But,
close
like,
club.
But like as far as like being an author, because you're like really vulnerable too, because you're putting something. Out there
it's your
that you
brand.
you
Your
work-
brand.
Like we're sitting here, we're just like talking and like talking our shit, right? We're like saying our opinions. If people don't like it, that is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I spent like years on this
Writing a
piece of
book.
work that I'm obsessed with, and I'm like, I feel really good about this, and the first review is just somebody shitting on it, like that's gotta feel real rough.
Yeah.
And the fandoms are ruthless.
the fandoms are really tough.
Where do you fit fan art into fandoms? Like, is that just part of it? Like, is that just comes with the I feel like every fandom
has fan art. I think that's when you know you're a fandom. When you have fan art.
I agree.
When you have a lot of when you have fan art that is not being purchased by you, like you're not commissioning somebody to make your fan art.
Yeah.
When people are just like
making it for fun.
I'm doodling. I would like to
That's a good
doodle
point.
today, and I'm gonna doodle my favorite character. And then if you look on Instagram and you could type in your character's first and last name,
And they're a hashtag?
There's a hashtag filled with different fan artists. You have a fandom.
It's so interesting how every fandom happens to have amazing artists in them. Like that's what blows my
Artists,
mind.
man.
Like imagine like Sarah J. Maas, like everybody who loves Avatar, but out of every single one of them, the millions and millions of people, not a single one can draw. So you just like don't ever get.
I don't know if Avatar gets as popular as it does without the fan art.
That's an interesting thing too.
I think that's the conversation we come back to a lot, you and I, Erica, about these books that the fan art shows
and the fandom.
Shows
something
that
that's
it's
not in the book.
Yeah.
That is, and I love fan artists. I love fan art, but goddamn, do they fuck you?
They
Fuck
catfish
you.
you.
They catfish
They catfish you immediately.
And I get like you want as an art. I understand it from an artist perspective that you're like you want to create something and you want to like elaborate on something and having that ability, you have the ability to kind of change the scene into what you wanted it to be.
And you're
It's
not
like
forced
fanfiction.
to
Love that.
recreate the same scenes over and
literally
over and over
fanfiction.
again.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like kind of doing a little bit of fanfic with yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's fine. The problem is that it then gets shared and like basically touted as canon. And then you're like, as a person who hasn't read it, you look at this and you're like, oh wow, like this is the vibe. And then you read the book and
can't
it's
do
absolutely not
that.
the fucking vibe.
I think the fandom actually like is a marketing side on things, like right, it like kind of sells the book because without the Avatar fandom, I wouldn't even know.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like I
Yeah.
think these fan artists have literally catapulted Sarah J. Maas into another hemisphere
Yeah.
where Harry Potter was around before
Oh,
that.
true.
Did not have fan art.
Yeah, but I mean, that
not
was-
as much fan art for Harry Potter now.
But that was
which
like
is
that's 'cause
for
it's
a
kid's-
reason.
It's a kid's book.
Middle grade, yeah.
It's a middle grade book. You don't have, and there's
There's
already
still-
pictures in the originals actually. So
But what I'm trying to say though is like it didn't need.
Twilight didn't have fan art.
It
Did
didn't need that.
No, it didn't.
It didn't need it. You're right.
I'm trying to remember how
No.
I even found Akatar. Because
Yeah.
I read it
Instagram.
before
I don't
both of you.
remember.
Did you?
Yeah, I read it like the summer of
I
COVID.
do remember that. Yeah.
Like before I even had the
I remember
Bookstagram. Like this was like I was just reading.
What the fuck?
And I can't remember how I found it. I
That's
don't know.
so
I wasn't
interesting.
online.
Huh.
I mean, I had my, but
Maybe you
I was
saw it
barely
at
on
a-
Instagram at the time. I barely did anything there.
Would you have seen it at like a Barnes and Noble?
I
or-
probably saw it at Barnes and Noble. Yeah, and I just like
I
picked
don't
it
know
up and
how
read
I
the
found
back.
it either.
Had
But
to be
I
Instagram.
remember I can't remember exactly where I found it.
It was good. Like I find a lot of books through Goodreads.
But I think you know what happened. I think I read the
But I don't
Cruel
know how I
Prince
got on
series
Goodreads.
first.
Oh,
I read
I
Cruel
remember
Prince
that.
first, and I fell in love with that, and that's where I was like going into my fantasy
I
world.
remember that.
And I might have just found it linked that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I didn't find it through a fandom.
How did I get on Goodreads? You?
Probably.
you.
What are some fandoms we don't know about? Not that
I
we
don't
don't.
know.
Well, like, no. That are less talked about, right? So, I mean, I just discovered
The Bargainer.
I just discovered
That's
the
not-
whole fandom of like sport romances. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, you
No,
mean
that's
like
recent.
yeah.
No,
the
like,
hockey
I
stuff?
think sport romances have been
Oh, they've always been a
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
like the
but
baseball stuff too.
They're
There's a
happening
lot of
now
sport
more.
romances
But like,
now.
are there other ones that I don't know about that you guys might?
I mean, the dark romance
Dark
community
romance
is
is a-
pretty
where do you find these
significant.
things? You just searched up the name on Instagram.
No,
Oh,
No, I think now it's
now it's like the algorithm. Just
Now it's the
feeds you
algorithm.
shit.
yeah.
I swear to God, they hear everything you say and
Yeah, they
look
do.
in your
So I
phone.
think
too.
Fourth Wing's gonna be the next.
I don't know.
Rebecca
I think
Yarros
it's too
fandom.
soon
It's too soon to tell.
I think it has the legs for it.
Has potential. It depends on how
Um,
book 2's handled.
But it's interesting because Rebecca Yarros is already an established writer. So my question is, if Fourth Wing becomes this big, which it already has, but if it becomes even bigger, and you become a Rebecca Yarros fan, are you disappointed that her previous books aren't exactly like these ones? Or is it like a new fandom where you're leaning into the fantasy? Like, I don't know. I just like, is the fandom based off the books or is it based off the author? Because to me,
Books, I would
it's
say.
the books, right?
It's the books, I would say.
I think
the Sarah J.
the
Maas-
authors because you want to.
Yeah.
Sarah J. Maas is just different because she has 3 universes.
And
that-
same with Colleen Hoover. She stays within the same thing that she does, like in every
Yeah,
book.
she stays in that
So I guess it just
contemporary.
depends on
The Colleen Hoover fandom is
the Hoover train, baby. Is that still a thing? Do people still like love her?
Yeah, she sold more books than the Bible last year.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not kidding.
Really? How many books does she have?
God's out, Hoover's in.
Hoover damn.
Put it on.
Damn, Hoover.
Put it on a fucking t-shirt, baby.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, she sold more books than the Bible. So this is actually interesting. So for the New Crescent City book, they did this with the other one.
Oh god.
The New Crescent City book, depending on where you bought the book, the physical copy is which like extra scene that you have,
I
right?
hate that.
So there's 5 extra
They're
scenes.
T-Swifting
They
it.
just want you to fucking
5. So they want you to buy 5 books.
Like Taylor
absurd.
Swift buying
They want
4
you to buy
different albums
5
to make a
books.
clock.
Yeah, you're right.
And the reason that I know that this to be a money grab, the reason that we all know this is a money grab, because the ebook doesn't have an extra fucking feature and the audiobook doesn't have an extra feature.
Ooh. They
Damn
want you to
straight.
get those.
So they want you to get all 5 of those
And
physical
that doesn't
copies.
even include the special editions that will come out from this, from the book boxes,
Nope.
from anyone else who wants to make a exclusive edition of this book.
Oh,
There
I
are people who are
hate
going to have
that.
entire shelves just
that
two
are
of
going
them
to be
dedicated just
7
Crescent City 2.
7 fucking Crescent
3.
City books or whatever. So this is what I think is happening is I think
much.
Sarah J. Maas wants to be in the ranks and sell that many books, and it's a fucking scheme
Yeah.
because she's not really selling that many books.
Ooh.
She's getting people to buy 5 books.
That's really interesting.
Do you think that's her
For the
decision,
pri- for
or do you
one.
think that's her publisher?
It's a
doing that?
publisher.
So you can't say
I mean,
she.
she's got to support it.
I don't know.
She-
I don't know how much.
contracts,
I
man.
don't know how
They
much
probably
control.
say, "Hey,
True.
we'll publish you, but we'll market how we want to."
If that was me, though, I'd be like, guys, I'm not fully behind this.
At this point, she's got.
I
enough
like
money,
the
it's
idea
fine.
of maybe 2, like
Yeah.
2 different versions.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like I get that, sure. 5 is excessive and it's a money grab and it's so viciously
a lot.
obvious.
So then at the end of the day, and we can wrap it up with this, like, do we think fandoms are a good thing or a bad thing?
No, fandoms are terrible.
Whoa.
Whoa, I was not gonna go that
Hot
far.
take.
I was gonna say fandoms are great for those who enjoy them.
Two very different.
Fuck fandoms.
I was literally gonna like. I
You're
was gonna,
part of it. You're
I
part
don't
of
want to
it.
be.
I'm
by
relating
default.
it. So you're relating it on a whole scale,
Yeah.
as a whole package. I'm relating it as a personal package. For myself personally, I love my fandoms. My Buffy, my Charmed,
Yeah.
my Phantom of the Opera is a very small fandom for me, but that's my fandom,
Yeah.
and it makes
But are
me
you
happy.
actually interacting with other people in the fandom?
I made my best friend thanks to that
That's
fandom.
a good point. That's a good
Like,
point. Yeah.
Kate and I have been friends for what, 15 years
I
now?
love that. Yeah.
We met on the internet.
Yeah, but that was like back then though. Like,
But that was
usually-
our fandom on YouTube.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
our fandom
yeah.
was Phantom of the Opera, and
Yeah.
that's how we met.
right.
If it wasn't for that fandom, I wouldn't have my best friend.
Exactly.
So like, I
think-
like it. I'm good.
I think fandoms used to be good, and I think
Yeah,
they
I
used
think
to be
it's
really
different now.
healthy.
Yeah.
And I think they used to bolster community and be a great place for people to have healthy relationships.
Yep.
I think fandoms on social media, fandoms in parasocial relationships, fandoms in any capacity that has to do with 20 and on is so toxic and
Good
needs to be
saying-
eliminated
I keep saying we're on the wrong timeline.
yeah.
and disbanded.
That's
I
my
know you do.
conspiracy theory.
I
2020, we went off course.
I don't think it needs to be eliminated. I think it needs to be fixed.
I don't know how you fix it without eliminating it. We
Thanos, that shit. That's all I know about Thanos.
we
50%.
we benefit from fandoms. Our podcast benefits from fandoms in a lot of
I
ways.
don't think we're ever gonna have a fandom, but yeah.
No,
No,
but
but
we
we talk about
benefit
them.
from
Oh,
This
them
whole
being
episode,
fixed.
talking about
You're right,
certain
you're right.
fandoms because we garner those viewers or whatever. I would rather not have this podcast and have TikTok banned across the United States,
I do
so that
agree.
nobody could fucking like.
You heard it here first. She wants TikTok banned.
I'm with her on that one.
I love social media.
And I
TikTok
use
is the most toxic place on earth.
It's a cesspool.
TikToxic.
Beautiful. Rename it.
I mean, I deleted off my stuff for a reason.
I
Like,
still watch it, and I fucking could
No.
not agree.
And I'm
more.
not.
done.
I'm not against Instagram. I'm not against YouTube. It's TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok's a
It's
problem.
TikTok.
There's a lot of drama. I mean, I think it's everywhere. It's social media, but
It's sure for sure, but like
it's definitely
the
stems from
amount-
there, and it floods into the rest.
yeah.
the amount of drama that's on TikTok is so
Do you feel like that's our
Astronomically
new
more.
reality show?
TikTok.
Do you know back when we grew up, we had the Real World, and we had like the Housewives and all that. Like
Yep.
that's our reality shows back then. But now I feel like TikTok is the reality show.
Oof. This is very true.
That was a really hot take of mine. I'm so sorry.
Now you're thinking about what you said.
No, I say it like without any nuance involved.
I know what you mean, and I get it, and I understand. Like
Like there's some people that'll be like, well, this is how people get information across and voices and
For sure,
you know what
yeah.
I mean. I'm not trying to like
there's good and bad to everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think in general there's more bad for good than good on TikTok.
I agree.
And that's
totally
I don't
where
watch
I
it for
am.
a reason.
Maria downloaded it for like 20 minutes.
I've
was
learned
like,
so
I got
much.
served 18 horrible negative videos.
We were
and
talking.
shit.
I've learned a lot
Kristen-
on TikTok.
I had it on my iPad, and my computer was freezing. So whenever my computer freezes, I just scroll so I don't like bash the computer in.
Yeah.
And TikTok on my iPad had the red badge with numbers on it, so it was like giving me notifications for something.
Oh yeah.
I hate the red badge, so I open it to get rid of the red badge, but I scrolled, and I scrolled for 5 or 6 videos, and I kid you not, it was 6 videos that made me feel like shit.
It's so sad.
And then Kristen texted me, and I was like, it broke.
yeah.
It broke the whole the doom scroll that it was, and I thanked her. I was like, thank God you texted me, because I was in a bad doom scroll, and now I deleted TikTok off the iPad. You can't see it. I had it there to see our TikTok, but at this point, Erica, this is your train, and you're gonna run it.
I have it on like a third page because I try not to go on it.
Yeah. Once you have that muscle memory, it'll open every time.
It'll go away eventually.
What's it called? Every
Everything's fleeting.
every tech gets bought and whatever.
I mean, look at Twitter. It took a long time, but there it goes.
Yep. That's
So this question, this is not anything to do with fandoms. Actually, kind of more so on like TV. So this question was posed to me. What do you think was the most influential reality TV?
influential.
In my life or in general?
Well, in your reality TV, it was only in your life.
So my life, personally.
personally.
No.
in general, think.
I meant in general.
Yeah.
The most influential reality TV.
My first thought is Big Brother, but I never watched it.
Oh,
I never watched it either, but I feel like that's the.
But I feel like that's the one that everyone mentions.
I'm trying to.
I was
think of
gonna say Jersey Shore.
I was gonna
That's
say
what I was
Jersey
gonna
Shore,
say.
too. I was gonna
That's
say
why I
Jersey Shore.
asked personal or
But no,
general.
because if you
Because
think about
personally, Jersey Shore.
I think Big Brother also falls in this category, but like Jersey Shore, do you know how many sayings and like
I still do it to this day.
that like came out of that show that you don't even know that you're saying that
I
shit,
do it
and
now.
it's from that
I
show.
still do T-shirt time and stuff like that, and I'm like, cab say it,
T-shirts,
and we never take
you don't
a cab.
even
my
know
sister
where
and I
that's from.
constantly, every time we're always like, Ron, stop. You're traumatizing
It's so
me.
ingrained, and
Well, then what about
everybody
the
watched it.
Kardashians?
I never
People-
watched that
I've
in my
never
life.
seen it in my
See,
life,
like-
but I know people quote it.
So this got
Like,
brought
Kim,
up.
people are dying. Like I've heard that before, and I don't even know what that means. But
There's a couple like the Kardashians, Vanderpump, Housewives.
what about Real World?
Real World was
It
the first.
ended a while ago,
but
but
it
that was
ended-
one of the first ones for sure.
So like all those ones,
It's got to be the
those
game
were all
shows.
girls.
Yeah.
Like only women watch those shows.
Well,
and
no.
gay
If
men.
we're saying reality shows that like change everything, it has
I
to
thought
be,
like maybe like
has to be
Survivor.
Survivor has to be.
Survivor,
I
Amazing
never think
Race.
of Survivor as a reality show, but
I
it
know,
is.
but it is. Yeah.
Amazing Race.
I think of it as a game
Amazing
show.
Race is a good
that
one.
was
but I
on for
think
like 20 years.
It's still
I
on.
think game shows
think
and reality shows are two different things.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do think if we're talking like straight reality, like, and we're including game shows, Survivor has
Then
to be
sure,
the
then
number
Survivor it is.
Survivor,
Has to be.
Because if we're talking about reality
Jersey
shows, how
Shore.
I think
Yeah.
it's trash TV, Jersey Shore.
Yeah, if we're talking
Big
trash
Brother,
TV,
definitely. But like The Bachelor, but like The Bachelor again, like women.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's really like Jersey Shore. Everyone watched Jersey Shore.
I love Jersey Shore.
You're right.
This is just an interesting question to think about. And then those fandoms that come from the Bachelor
Jersey Shore
fandom
fandom?
is fucking
Bachelor one
crazy.
is crazy.
I've never been into
Even 90 Day Fiance has like its
a
own little-
huge
God.
one, and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That girl from Seymour, that from
The fart one.
yeah,
That's all I know
Reality
her as.
TV fandoms are crazy.
yeah, it is nuts.
They're.
I'm probably gonna watch her.
Can you
when I get
imagine
home.
still watching Survivor 30 years later?
Garrett and Kale love Survivor.
Get the
I
fuck
have-
out of here.
Oh my god, they're obsessed. You didn't know Garrett?
Oh, Drag Race.
Dude, Drag
Such
Race
an
is a good
influential
one.
reality show.
But Survivor, like
Yeah.
they're obsessed with Survivor.
I've
Kale,
never heard them talk about it.
Oh my god, Kale, text Kale right now and be like,
They're
"You like
busy.
Survivor? He'll lose his mind. Loves it."
What?
Yeah, they're like they tried. He wanted to get on it, but he couldn't.
We need to talk more to them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Survivor's a
Garrett,
big
stop talking to me about work.
one. Talk to me
I want to talk
Survivor.
about what you like. It's not work.
Survivor, apparently.
Apparently, I didn't know this. Anyway, okay. That was our
So,
talk.
yeah, that was. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, fandoms overall, good or bad, whether you like them or not, they're not going anywhere.
You could be
So-
part
I
of
love
our
my
fandom.
fandoms.
And that's it. That's what it comes down to. Let us know if you have a fandom that you're part of that maybe we haven't heard of. Like, are there any secret fandoms? We almost just lost the whole table.
Put your foot up there and hold it. You're the fourth leg.
This is the fourth wing.
It's Eric.
Anyway.
If there's any fandoms that like you're
Star
part
Wars.
of that you're excited
Star
about,
Wars.
no.
We didn't even talk about
Wars.
Star
Those are
Wars.
we're getting into movies then. 'Cause
Yeah,
we could do
but it
movie
was-
fandoms all day.
Yeah, no, it's.
Star Trek has its own fucking fandom. Like we can go.
My dad's part of every one of those fandoms.
We could
Star
talk-
Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, all the stars.
Dungeons and Dragons.
What
Dungeons and
about the
Dragons.
guy that goes in the phone booth?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
My dad
Who.
watched that one too. He always goes,
Actually,
annihilate.
I really do like Doctor Who.
Anime. It like.
I mean, it goes
all of
on and on.
anime.
There's
fandoms
so many
everywhere.
fandoms.
And that's where we leave off.
But this is why I can't say we can't destroy them all. 'Cause
They're
There's so many
never
good fandoms.
going away.
They're never going away.
And I can't wait to go to Comic-Con.
And I think
this
a
year.
lot of, majority of them are really healthy. The ones that are on the internet suck.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much for joining. And join us next week on Books and Betches. Let's go to Instagram. Look us up on Instagram. Books_and_Betches BETCHES. Find us on YouTube and subscribe. If you don't mind, subscribe. Thank you so much. It's just like a click.
We're like at 2.4 right now.
Yeah, you just click it and then it's there, and like you don't.
And
even
if you want to hit
think
the
about
notification bell so you're notified every time we drop a
it. You don't
video.
have to do that. Just click the subscribe.
Don't. I
You
don't
don't
give a
even
fuck.
have to like pay for it. You just click that button. Click it. Click it. Thank you so much. We love you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys. Bye.